Hello and welcome to the Endless Honeymoon Podcast. Natasha's making a hand gesture to our producer to turn my voice down, but I think I sound A-okay.
You sound good, but I hear it all day. So when we're podcasting, I like it to be almost on mute.
You like my voice to be down during the voice-related media product that we give out to the world?
Honey, I've been in a pandemic with you, and so
You have?
I don't really need your voice amplified.
Okay, well, you chose a bad partner to do a podcast with. I can tell you that right now, because this is all the voice, baby. How you doing, Tosh?
Fine.
Good. I'm doing really good too. I had a great set last night.
Yeah, you're kind of like feeling yourself right now.
Yeah, I'm high on the hog. By the way,
You've had like 4 or 5 sets this week. What are you just like acting like you're just in New York now in the 80s doing comedy?
I'm just trying to get back to life. You know what I want to do? Wait, before I lose my train of thought. High on the hog, I have a recommendation for everybody.
What is it?
It's a food show on the Netflix channel called High on the Hog. And I just happened to use the turn of phrase high on the hog. And High on the Hog. It's a food. Are you yawning right now while I'm
No.
talking?
What's High on the Hog, honey?
It's a food show, but it's about the African American cuisine and how it shaped American history. And it is, I would say, unequivocally the most powerful and emotional I have ever felt watching a food show. That is until I see season 1 of Rat in the Kitchen, which is your new show.
Why do you watch a food show without me? We have such a small Venn diagram of what interests us.
Last night I watched the food show without you because you were getting ready and doing prep work for your new television program, Rat in the Kitchen, on TBS.
Well, I wish that you would watch the things that I hate, which is most of what you like, when I'm not available.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I'm available...
I feel like I'm talking to a headmistress right now. Yes, Miss Trunchbull. But anyway, I recommend it strongly to everybody. I got emotional watching it. It was really profound. The guy is a chef. He went back to Benin, which is, I guess, where the port for 60% of the African slaves that were sold into America walked through this one road, through this one gate, through Benin, and were transported here. And this African American man walks back into time, into history, and walks on the path that his forefathers walked. And it was powerful. I was affected by it. Really, I was affected by it. It really touched me.
And they make the cuisine?
Yeah, and then he goes into, but most of it is a joyful experience. He's walking through Benin and he's eating the food and the cuisine of Benin, and they're kind of talking about how, when you're black, and this isn't something I could relate to, obviously, because although I was black in junior high school, I was never truly culturally black. When you're a black person eating African American cuisine, and then you go to Africa and you start eating their cuisine, you will start to, what they were talking about was this experience of tasting something in Africa and going, this feels familiar. Like it feels like a distant cousin of the cuisine that we eat back home. Like it feels linked in a kind of it was really powerful and kind of beautiful. And I had this thought, I didn't mean to get this philosophical, but I had this thought about not just black-white relations, but everything about America. Native American, the history of race and racism in this country. And we always talk about slavery as the original sin of America, right? And I had this thought that sin is the wrong language. I mean, it's a helpful metaphor, but it's actually the wrong language to think about. Is this too heady for this comedy
I'm waiting
podcast?
for what the answer is. What is it?
Well, sin is the wrong term, even though sure it was sinful. What it is it's trauma. It's PTSD. Like this country is founded not so much. I mean, yes, it's founded on slavery and on colonialism and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But really, what it's founded on is collective trauma. Because who are the people that had PTSD from the Vietnam War? They were not the innocent people. Sometimes they were, But a lot of the times it was people who had done atrocious things in war, right? It's not like PTSD affects innocents only. It affects people that did horrifying things, right? Then you come home and you have this trauma from what you saw and from what you did, right? And then the whole problem with PTSD is that you have this trauma often from something that you did, and rather than process your trauma, deal with it, you build a wall around the trauma and you tell yourself, I'll never go, I will emotionally never go there. That is an area of my psyche that I can emotionally never go. And the consequence of that is that you are propelled forward by this trauma, and it starts to warp and disfigure your conscious life. So you stuff something into your subconscious that shouldn't be there. It should be processed in the conscious world, right? But you stuff it, and then you don't process it, and then your conscious life is warped and fucked up, and you can't tell why. You're like propelled by this trauma, and your life is chaos, and you don't know why, right? And then that's what I think America, a big part of America's problem is it's this stuffed trauma from what the nation did, the ways in which this nation was able to thrive on slave labor, on genocide of native people.
Yeah, but they don't even teach that in schools. I didn't even learn that growing up.
Exactly. I'm saying it's like deep. It
wasn't trauma for me. No, it was just like no one told me.
No, not you. I'm saying it's like this gigantic simmering.
Schools aren't teaching it.
Why do you think they're not teaching it? Because we can't go there because there's a wall around the trauma, right? Does not teaching an accurate history of what happened in this country sound like a nation that has processed its past in a true and meaningful way? It's like we're trying to, hide from what we did. That's why everybody always says, oh no, we had racism, but we're over that. But how do we get over it? What do you mean we're over that?
Right.
How do we get over it? And then you look, it's like, it's not even a compelling argument because you look left and look right. And it's like, well, I can see it's happening right now. This was yesterday was the year anniversary of George Floyd's death. And it's like, well, that doesn't seem like we're over it. So that was my revelation from watching High on the Hog, is that the problem with race in America is not so much original sin that we haven't atoned for. It's kind of the same way of saying, I guess it's two ways of saying the same thing, but it's actually like psychological. It's like PTSD that we've never processed.
Well, to some people it might feel like an original sin, honey.
Yeah, sure. I get that it's useful language, but what I'm saying is like, what is okay, when you are sinful, right? If you're a religious person and you're sinful, what is the thing that you are supposed to do in order to get over your sin?
Penance.
Yeah, you say sorry to God, right? But if you have PTSD, you can say sorry to God for the things that you did at war, but really what you need to do is like, you got to go over the wall and get back into that trauma, process it, bring it into your conscious mind, and work through it, right? And that's the thing we've never done. And the good people at MAPS, they're doing all this great work with MDMA and PTSD, to giving people this ecstasy treatment, because the whole thing about taking ecstasy. Have you ever taken ecstasy? Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Yeah, it never really worked for me, though.
You didn't have a rave experience?
No, I think I need a lot.
You should try a lot. We should get you some.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. I'm a mom now. I'm not really trying to do Molly.
Momly. I think our kid would love Mom on Molly. That you would be like a lot of fun. You would be like a delight.
All right, I'll think about it.
Definitely would probably be like a lighter, breezier energy than what's going on right now.
Well, I just feel like you're like totally engaged in society and you're going up every night and you're like trying to go to the spa. Like you're trying to go to like a Korean jjimjilbang. And I'm like not really feeling, going into like a public sauna on the heels of an infectious disease.
Here's my thought on that. Okay, the jjimjilbang I recognize is I texted my spa friends. I mean, you're my main spa friend.
I don't want to go to a public hothouse right now, Moshe. There's an infectious disease that is not quite
we're
done.
Vaccinated.
So
that's the whole point of the vaccination, is to get back to life.
Is that you could never catch COVID or never catch a new variant of an infectious disease? I'm just trying to lay low for a minute and see what's up.
I've been laying low and seeing what's up for a fucking year and a half. That's, I think, my perspective on it.
So because you feel done, I'm just saying.
No, because I feel done, and I got injected with an RNA vaccine that makes it 100% impossible that I will die of COVID, or statistically extremely close to impossible that I could die of COVID. So it's like, what am I worried about here? over. What am I?
Yeah, no, right. The CDC seems to have some pretty consistent messaging happening, and everything seems pretty.
I guess we could just stay in our basement. But I'm trying to get out there and live. I mean, why bother getting the vaccine? I know how to avoid COVID by sitting at home. I've already done that.
I'm not saying I don't want to leave my house. I do leave my house. I'm just saying I don't want to go
to a Jim Joe Bang.
To a sauna.
Listen, I will tell you.
Where I'm packed in with a bunch of strangers. You lay on those like clay rocks with like other people have just sweat all week, and it just stinks like feet in the whole place.
Wait, now you don't like spas, or you don't like Jim Joe Bangs?
The
don't
spa
like
you're talking about, I find a little... I mean, it seems like divorced men are just spending the night there.
That's true.
People don't have a home, so it's like a half homeless shelter.
I don't think that's fair of the Jim Joe. Do not disparage.
People have their like
Jim Joe Bang.
Their iPads plugged in.
Yeah, it's cool.
They brought their books.
It's not for you.
They're staying the night
on
a mat.
Would you like to go to a little fancier of a spa with me?
I'm not really trying to go to spa right now, Moshe.
I did text my friends and I said, hey, you guys want to test how strong these vaccines are? Spa's back open. So I hear what you're saying. I mean, here's my perspective. My perspective is if
go to the most COVID heavy.
That ain't COVID. I mean, that's just something you're saying. My perspective is if I don't force myself out to get out, I will find comfort in this kind of imposed agoraphobia that we have all contracted in the last year. And I'm not trying to do that. That's why I'm forcing myself to do spots, forcing myself to go do stand-up spots, forcing myself to... I mean, like, yes, I got the vaccine, fully vaccinated. I've been fully vaccinated for a year and a half now. I got a very, very early trial vaccine. And
you mix like a little cocktail. Like you got a little bit of the Moderna, a little bit of that Sputnik, a little J&J chaser.
Yep. I did a Moderna top note. I waited 6 weeks. I flew to Russia. I got the Sputnik second shot, and then a J&J one and done just to kind of round everything out. I will say that I can taste sound. Is that what it's supposed to do? Mm-hmm. Anyway, my point is, now that I'm vaccinated, I'm like, I got to just do it. I got to get out, or I will not do it because it is comfortable. I am comfortable here, even though, there are tensions that come with pandemic life. Like, I'm trying to get back out to the world, man. I mean, look, would I go to a hookah bar with closed windows and like share an oxygen mask with somebody? Probably not. But it's like, if you believe science, you got to believe it in both directions, not just in the fear way, but also in the unfear way. That's my opinion, my feeling, my perspective.
100% agree. I just don't want to go to a spa right now.
That's the only thing, or is there more to it, more than that?
Well, the spa is like a place where people publicly sweat on top of each other and spit and groom themselves. I've definitely seen people spit in spas, and they're sweating, and all your sweat pours down into the pores of like...
I'm not saying you should want to go to a spa.
Thank you.
But I'm also doing a bunch of other shit too.
Yeah, you're cool.
I'm not saying I'm cool.
You seem like you're back out there.
I'm trying to get back out there. You're not.
I mean, yeah, I have to work and stuff. Well, it's hard with a kid, like it's not really like I'm watching my kid all weekend. I can't like run an errand with her really.
Yeah. But I'm out there running errands daily. I'm having like a blast out in the errand world.
I'll get there, Moshe. I just like it to be a little slow.
It's so slow though. It's been so long. I don't even know how to make plans really anymore. Like I have to consciously force myself. Like I am making plans now. Like it used to be like very natural to me.
I don't think this Roaring 20s thing's gonna happen.
You don't think so?
Not in LA.
I think so. But they say New York is like firing right now.
You think?
That's what they say. Everybody that goes to New York, every comedian I know that goes to New York comes back like they just visited Narnia, like they're Lucy coming out of the wardrobe. They're just like, it's like back to normal. There's spots every night. Every restaurant's wide open. People in the parks. It's the most beautiful place I've ever seen, Edmund. That's every comedian.
That's because their houses suck.
Oh, because that's why they have to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's New York's charm always.
You just live in a box.
The great living room of Manhattan.
Remember what I used to have a bathtub in the dining room?
Is that true?
Yeah, and there would be like a refrigerator door, but you couldn't open it because it would also like...
It would also go to Narnia.
No, like you couldn't have the front door and the fridge open at the same time.
Sure.
I had like floors that were like a legitimate slope.
Oh, yeah. You could put a marble on it and it would slide down. The last time I was in New York, I was there to promote my album. And I stayed in this hotel and I got really ill.
Yeah, you know what you got, Moshe?
You think I got COVID? I know.
It was in January in New York.
Right.
And you were sicker than you'd ever been.
It's not true.
You obviously had COVID.
I mean, it's okay. I had the kind of COVID.
It was exactly right before COVID hit, like big.
I had the kind of COVID that feels exactly like a very familiar flu and went away in 4 days.
You said it was the worst flu you'd ever had.
Maybe I had COVID. I'm not one of these people that's like, I'm pretty sure I had it, so I'm not going to get tested, but I'm pretty sure I had it. Every person I know.
Why do all of your impressions have buck teeth?
Because my favorite movie is Breakfast at Tiffany's, and you can't watch it anymore because of cancel culture. That's why.
All right, well, listen. New York, I'm sure, is, what did you say on firing? New York is firing. And LA is
smoldering.
Not smoldering.
It's cold. It's ashes.
It's just back to the land of people flaking.
Sure. Well, that's good. We're getting back to normal. Things are getting launched again. I told you, I walked into the Comedy Store after a year off, and there was a male comedian there that had cornered a female comedian and was telling her why you can't believe all the Me Too accusers. And I was like, wow, nothing has changed. This feels like a time machine. It feels like I pressed pause in the green room at the Comedy Store, went home, slept for a year like Rip Van Winkle, and then came back and pressed play. And I was like, hey, everything's the same. Comedians were in the hallway like flirting with 21-year-olds in miniskirts. I was like, wow, really? No one has learned a thing. So what are you going to do?
What did you learn?
I learned a lot of stuff.
Yeah, like what?
Well, I learned that the racial trauma in this country is much like PTSD. No, what did I learn? I learned that I think that in the same way that I think you often learn with trauma, which is what this was, right? Collective trauma, that things that I thought were important, I don't care about as much anymore. And things that, and I learned how to value the things that remained important to me throughout the pandemic. I learned that that the outdoors is like total salvation for me. I guess I kind of knew that before, but
I feel the same about that.
Yeah, that was a nice revelation. I learned that I'm not my work, that I'm not only my work.
You learned all this in the pandemic?
Yeah, I learned a lot. What did you learn?
I was just pretty much stressing about what preschool to send our kid to.
You learned about a lot of the preschools in the eastern Los Angeles area.
And like if she would have to wear a mask and what would be safe for her and us.
Well, I learned about that too, by proximity.
Oh, because I would talk about it?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? I guess it's just another waste of my time.
No, it's not. It's huge. It's hugely important.
But listen, enough about me. Why don't we take a call?
I would love to actually discuss race theory. But fine. If we're going to do a call, let's do it.
Okay, now we're going to call Samantha and Bob in Madison, Alabama.
S&B 500.
Hi.
What's up?
Oh, this is so exciting.
Yeah, it looks like
it's like we're on a double date.
Totally.
It really is. Little couples therapy,
or partner swapping, depending on how this goes.
That's what Moshe's going to try to pitch.
Yeah, that's my advice. My advice to you, honestly.
But for you, Bob, he wants some of that.
Yeah, honestly, Bob, I wouldn't mind. Bob's kind of hot. Kind of got a Lenin.
He's a cool guy. He's got a stash, You know
what you look like is both Lenins, John and the Russian one. A little bit of both.
There we go.
I'll take it.
All right.
And we're wanting to cut his hair.
No.
Maybe I'm wanting to cut his hair,
no,
but
I've heard of your recent demise in that.
Well, with every great demise comes someone else's glory. Natasha's thrilled.
I just tried to take every opportunity I could, every spare moment to shame him for having long hair. Every joke I could come up with, every person I could get to make fun of him. And finally he cut it.
What I will say though, leaving me out of this, is that Bob, you look great with long hair. Honestly, it's working hard for me, and I think that it's
pretty thick mustache.
Thick, nice thick mustache.
I mean, come on in here, babe.
Yeah, you got
it's a good stash.
You got a thick.
I used to do the curl situation, but working in the medical field, having to have a mask on all the time, I decided to put my makeup away for a little while. So
yeah,
you look good. You got a thick ass. You got a thick little mustache. Hell yeah, mustache got some back.
Okay, so how can we help you guys?
All right. Okay, this is definitely out of comfort zone, going on a podcast and talking about sex life, but we're here. Right?
You've been excited for it for a while.
But
he's like, this is your thing, babe.
Yeah. We could tell Bob was less enthusiastic from, I would say, moment one.
So, okay, we are parents of a beautiful 5-year-old, and she's finally getting to the stage where she's sleeping through the night, most of the nights, right? So, yeah. But we still have to do the ritual of like locking down our room and all of that when we get busy. And so I feel like I am a normal level of audible in the bedroom, maybe. So the other night we're getting busy and he puts a pillow over my head.
Maybe you should cut the hair, Bob. Maybe you should cut the hair. It's doing things to your brain a little bit, I think.
I got so pissed and I went passive aggressive and just went mute. I was like, nope. And so anyway, we worked it out. He apologized and all that. But, I feel a little bit self-conscious, should I be audible? I've never woken up our child during sex. So she has walked in on us though. So there's that. But
Bob, you wanted to say something? Yes, Bob. Yeah, Bob the Strangler. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
So, okay. In the past, before we were able to own a home and living in an apartment, there was at least one time when there were neighbors that would bang on the adjacent wall
with paper thin walls.
Yes, though. I know, but at those times the pillows were an essential piece.
Sure.
So I don't know what it was. I may have just reverted back to 10 years ago or something of that nature, and just you tossed a pillow at her. Hey, you're getting a little loud there, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Why did you get so pissed?
Good question. Fair question. Maybe I felt like it was like
silencing.
You're being too loud,
Like you felt like the male hand, kind of like the oppressor.
Yeah, maybe
shoving his face into your head.
What's interesting is that this is only being vocalized now.
Wait, what did you think she was calling about? The mustache?
I explained it all.
Possibly the hair. I don't know.
No, Bob, this is interesting because I feel like Moshe and I have had a similar issue, but he's
I'm the one screaming. I'm so loud.
Well, but he doesn't care, whereas like I will definitely be silent.
Wait, what do you mean?
More silent.
What do you mean?
If we're having sex while the kid is sleeping, I'm just like not trying to traumatize her. Like I saw my mom humping when I was little, and it was like I hated it.
They're from Alabama. It's called getting busy. It's true though. I'm not worried about, because I know that our kid sleeps deeply. I'm not worried, and I'm not worried about.
Not when she's napping always in the day.
Yeah, always. She's we've never woken her up. But also, can I ask you, do you think it's weird? And Natasha says this is weird, that when I have sex, this is what I sound like this. I go like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Like, does that seem, she says it's like a little feminine. The whole time.
Moshe, he's kidding.
I'm kidding. So we have a similar issue. I didn't know we had an issue. This is the first time you're mentioning that.
I'm just saying like I'm more aware of it.
More self-conscious about it.
Yeah, like I don't want to ever, bring something to her head before she needs to deal with it,
Right.
And maybe that's where I'm at as well.
You're worried about waking her up.
It's not waking her up. It's that like
her hearing,
her wondering what that is, or mimicking it, or thinking. I don't know. You know.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. This is interesting. Well, it happens, Samantha and Bob, that I had a great set last night. I was at the Comedy Store, crushed it. This just happens to be true. Right? I just wanted to bring that up. No,
you've been talking about it all day. He made me listen to his set.
No, the only reason I made her listen to my set is because I'm working on new stuff, and one of the bits, I swear to God, it's very uncanny, is about how women make more noise in bed than men. And I'll spare you.
Is it a cue of that they're doing a good job?
No,
I think
that's the whole premise of the bit. That's the whole premise of the bit. And I'll spare you the actual bit. When we come to Alabama, I'll do it in person. But what I learned was, and this is a theory from my friend Dr. Christopher Ryan, who wrote Sex at Dawn, is that we're really related to these monkeys called the bonobos, right? That's like our closest relative, depending on your belief system. Maybe there's no monkey in your family tree. I don't know how Alabama. But we're very related.
We're North Alabama.
Okay, sure. That means a lot.
And in case you guys aren't familiar with, a lot of men like to throw around the bonobo reference so they can try to like fuck people besides their wives.
I'm not saying I believe it, but it's what the bit's
One more guy starts talking about bonobos. Fuck you. Why don't you try to go to a bar and pick up other people while you're nursing?
Well, it's
impossible to have that kind of open bonobo relationship when you're a woman.
The point is that the bonobos are sexually open monkey society. All the men will have sex with the women, and they'll do it like in like a gangbang fashion to maximize the possibility of impregnation. And, it's like more possible to get the bonobo pregnant if she's fucking every bonobo in the village than if she's just fucking her partner. And so here's the theory. And if you're vocal, the theory is if you're vocal, and the reason that human women are vocal is because somewhere in our like deep evolutionary brain is a little bonobo screaming out to the other bonobos in the jungle, like, "Hey, come this way, everybody! We're having sex over here, so come on, line up, everybody."
I have a question. Does your orgasm feel worse if you're quiet? Because mine feels the same.
I feel like I'm stifling it.
I see.
It's like a sneeze when you hold it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, so wait, we got off on a tangent, but the point is women are louder than men. I think you could almost say biologically across the board. It's a funny thing that men think it's because they're so good in bed, because if that were true, it wouldn't be women in general are louder. It would be only the women that you sleep with because you're such a Casanova, and all of the other women are like, "I've never been loud before." And they're like, "Wait till you meet Bob. Bob's got a new mustache."
I mean, he's got a good mustache.
We can't deny it.
Here's what I think. I think that, I'm sorry, what's the girl's name?
She's right there. Ask her.
Belinda?
Yeah, Belinda.
I think
Samantha.
What is it?
Samantha
should be 20% less quiet in her comes overall.
More quiet, you're saying.
Yeah, less loud. Sorry, yeah, more quiet.
Yeah.
Just 20%. Just because you know the kid's not going to wake up. And Bob should never silence her by shoving a pillow in her face, because I can actually see how that would really make me feel unsafe.
Yeah. That's a bonobo move right there. Actually, it's a straight monkey move. That's a monkey move.
Bonobo.
Now I'm an advanced bonobo, apparently.
Yeah. You can talk and stuff. I hear you. Go ahead, Bob.
I was just going to say that there is no forcing of anything.
No,
it was
a
simple toss, of a frisbee in emotion. Like, hey, if you think this may be beneficial.
Well, let me ask you this, Samantha. Samantha?
Yes.
When you guys used to live in the apartment and he used to throw the pillow, the salad days of pillow tossing, did you like it then?
No, again, it felt like it was stifled.
Bob, you just found out.
Wait, I wasn't always initiated.
No. It wasn't that it was him bothering me. It was that like there wasn't the freedom of the apartment.
Right.
Yeah,
because it's not like this was my ideal.
Got it.
Okay, I have another idea. And now she's going to be 20% less loud in the house, but when you take her out and the kid's not there, she gets to be like even more, like 20% more than her at 100. so she can like save those like super loud comes and like find new heights when you're alone.
Right.
But when the kid's there, you know, you can just tone it back the tiniest bit, do it in his ear, however you want to do it. But I think that would help.
Right. And again, just to clarify, we have not woken up our child.
No, I hear you, but you know, you always think, oh, I could.
I am of a different mind. You'll be surprised to hear. I don't think you need to stifle yourself at all. If it doesn't wake the kid up, then listen, eventually
it's making him uncomfortable.
But that's not why she makes noise. It's not for his comfort. It's for her pleasure. I don't think that's why. I don't think you should adjust your sexual behavior so that, I mean, yes, you adjust your sexual behavior towards your partner. If you were punching Bob in the balls and he's like, I'm not into cock and ball torture, that's not my thing. Yes, you have to stop doing that. But this isn't sex that she's having with him. This is her own body's. It'd be like if I was telling you, like, could you not make that face during sex? It would be, I don't think you need to quiet down your sex. If you guys want to, you can put music on. If it really makes you uncomfortable, you can put music on. This is my opinion. Louder music.
That's what you did in college.
Yeah, like
and it's not like it's always 100% that I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, this was it happens maybe a handful of times, but at the same time, as being a man, it's also reassuring that I'm doing my job.
Yeah. You
know, like,
that you're doing your job, getting her ready for the other bonobos in the village.
Right, exactly. You know, I showed up to work today. So.
Well, I think my idea was kind of cool.
I'm not.
Then she can just like not make him feel really uncomfortable when they're at home, but then when you can like even like book a little weekend vacation, what's like a fucking cum vacation, and she can just like yelp as loud as she wants and have your parents watch your kid.
The truth is, your kid's going to hear you eventually anyway, and probably if they hear you yelping, they're not going to think. This is my opinion. I don't think your idea is bad. I think it's good. I'm just saying, here's a different idea. They're not going to think mom and dad are fucking. They're going to think, what's that? And I don't know. But anyway, maybe I'm wrong. I haven't thought about it.
And what age does that happen? What age do they transfer from being the little innocent kid to, you know, where we
knowing what's going on in
We're
there.
the wrong people to ask.
Yeah.
The truth is, I'm really the wrong person to ask because my mother was deaf, so she was never regulating her sexual noises my entire life. I heard it all my whole life, every bit of it.
Is that what's wrong with you?
That might be it.
You heard your mom having sex all the time?
Sure. Yeah.
But didn't the guy she was with, would he make a bunch of noise too? You just remember hearing her?
Yeah, I'd rather not say.
You brought it up. See? It's damaging. Just try to be a little quieter. I'm telling you, no kids need to hear that.
I'm okay going a little quieter if it saves some therapy for the
Remember
kids.
we saw that surf documentary, Moshe? That family lived in a van. There was like 5 kids.
It's so different.
Said they listened to their mom and dad have sex every night.
They lived in a bus and they saw there were 16 kids or something living in a bus, and they would see and their dad was like a complete like sex fiend, like 4 times a day type of dude. I mean,
they all ended up killers.
No, they didn't. That's a different reality. That's a different reality than you guys are living in. The biggest and most important point here is they've never woken their kid up. It's a non-issue. It hasn't happened. She's having pleasure. The kid's asleep thinking about sugar plums, and Bob is in there thinking about all of is like you thinking about all the terrible psychological repercussions that could occur should she wake up. But anyway.
That's how Bob and I choose to spend our free time. Okay? Leave us alone.
So those are your choices. Take it down 20% but
give yourself 20% on your own vacation, 20% more, so it's like 120 to 150.
Or put on some James Blake or something, turn it up, and if your kid wakes up, they'll wake up to the music, and at that point you will know, okay, we need to turn it down a bit. Those are your choices should you choose to take them. And Bob, keep that hair long.
Thank you, sir.
We're going on a tent camping trip next week.
Oh, now don't have sex.
In Florida.
Don't have sex at all during that trip.
Well, no, absolutely not. But I feel like this hair is going to be a bit sweaty in Florida.
Yeah, you looking more Florida. When you undid it, you looked more Florida than before. Yeah, now you're ready.
I feel like it works. Here's the thing, though. I'm a hairy man. I'm going to be sweaty anyways.
I hear you, brother. You're preaching to the choir right now. Now I'm back over on Team Bob.
I know. Thank you. Finally.
Well, I think you guys are welcome. We gave you a lot of good advice.
We killed it. I would say we killed it. We'll come to Alabama. That sounds so fun. I would love to go to Alabama.
We will be there, front row. For real.
Nashville, Huntsville, or Birmingham will be there.
I've done Nashville. That's a great place, but
I'm actually not available for any of those places in the near future. I'm so sorry.
Maybe it'll just be me because I don't know if you guys heard, but
Birmingham I can do.
I don't know if you heard, but last night at the Comedy Store, I really had a good set. It was really.
I applaud you. I wish I could have been there.
Well, we'll come your way.
Well, they say in comedy, you're only as good as your last set. So
That's
Moshe
right
is
now.
like really feeling himself. Where like I haven't had a set in a year and a half. So.
All right, you guys. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Good to talk.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
I was just thinking that the other night when we were having sex, or it was the day because our kid was napping,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I don't think she's really sleeping yet. I don't want to have like loud orgasm.
Usually you do though. Usually you remember Axl Rose in his prime? That's how I would describe sort of the sound of your yeah. Yeah, now you're making me getting randy. Natasha.
There is no good word for horny, huh? Horny, randy.
Horny's good.
Ugh.
Turned
horny's
on.
not good. Randy's
Turned
not
on's good.
Turned on.
No, I think that's good.
Ugh. If someone told me they were randy, I would not marry them.
I hear that. But wait, I think turned on is good.
Turned on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. Juicing.
That works.
Rock hard boner. I have a rock hard boner.
No, I don't like that.
I'm on bone right now.
No.
My dick on stone. Is thumping.
No, it's thumping seems like you're not sure what's thumping.
It's the quickening. It's the thickening.
No.
Plumping up.
No.
Chubbing.
No.
You're thinking about that one? That one might be good?
No, I don't like
Do you
any
want to
of
change the
this.
subject? Or you're just thinking about how you don't like this bit anymore? I know you all too well, Natasha. And you know how well I know you?
How well?
I know what you want to do next. You want to listen to some secrets, don't you?
I would actually.
Well, let's do it.
Hey, Tasha. Hey, Moshe. I have a secret. I am a straight male. I'm also married. Been married almost 10 years. But as of lately, I've been contemplating possibly finding a gay man to hook up with so that I can receive a blowjob more often than I do now, which is close to once to never twice a year.
I thought I was going to say a week.
I think that desperation has kind of led me to possibly finding a gay man to hook up with. I also think that maybe my straight brain doesn't understand what that lovely community is about. I think they probably just hang out all day and give each other blowjobs. But nevertheless, that's my secret. I love the podcast and I love you guys. Later.
Now that is fascinating and a good secret.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Does a blowjob feel better than sex? Wouldn't you rather have? I always thought a blowjob was what you did if you couldn't have sex.
That's hilarious.
Because he was kind of making it seem like it's preferred.
No, it's more like you asked me, I have a question. Are you telling me fried chicken tastes better than pizza? And I'm like, no, I want to have both. They're both really good. Give me both.
So she won't even suck his dick, his wife, like before they have sex?
Once a year.
And so do you think a man's lips on your penis feel different than a woman's lips?
I would say it probably depends on the stubble quotient. That'd be my guess. But that's really interesting. I'm trying to think, is that guy secretly queer or bi, or is he just really into blowjobs? Like what's
It's everything. Sexuality is like
Yeah.
it's this is male and this is female. There's like a little
it's just a weird spectrum, but yeah, totally. But he was framing it as if it really had nothing to do with anything about having a male partner.
Like the amount of time he wants to have.
It was about blowjobs.
No, but then he said something about their sweet lifestyle, or he said.
I think what he was saying, that was a little bit weird. It sounded weird. I think he was saying he's probably being an ignorant straight guy, thinking all gay men would just be like thrilled to be able to give him a blowjob.
It sounds like he has kind of a nice dick and he wants to show it off.
No, it sounds like he wants to get his dick sucked. But you know what I realize now as I'm saying it out loud? Why a gay man? Why not a female prostitute? If he clearly wants to hook up with a guy. Right? I mean, it's like if you miss blowjobs, you just find a female sex worker to give you a blowjob once a month or whatever it is that you need to stay in your marriage, in your frigid marriage. I mean, we could talk about that too. A partner that won't give you oral sex but once a year? What did Chris Rock say? There's three different relationships with oral sex. First, there are the people that won't do it at all. And he's just like, bye, see ya. That's sort of my vibe. If you don't do that, I mean, goodbye. Like, why? What?
What are you worth? If you're not going to do that, if you're not going to suck my dick.
No, it's not what are you worth. I mean, it's
you're a zero.
No, it's not the whole value.
No, I hear you.
But it's a non-negotiable.
Right.
I mean, if that was a thing if you refused it, then I would probably want to negotiate something.
I guess I thought that like most sex starts with sucking someone's dick.
I mean, it should start with all kinds of stuff. I mean,
maybe she has an issue.
Clearly. So does he. Yeah. I mean, I just feel like whatever. It doesn't matter. Everybody should do whatever they want to be comfortable sexually. But if you refuse,
if you really want something that that's where it gets weird. It doesn't matter what it is. It's that you really want something and your partner's really denying you of it. That's not healthy.
It feels like a Randy 50s sitcom. It's like, George, it's your birthday. You know what that means. It's like, huh? Is that?
And then you feel like Peg Bundy all the time.
Exactly.
No one will fuck you.
That whole vibe of like, oh, Peg Bundy wanted it and couldn't get it.
Yes, and Al, and even though she was way hotter than him,
right,
he never felt like fucking.
Right.
But she was always like dressing up, pushing her tits up.
Kind of the brilliance of that show, right, is to have this like hot, sex starved wife. Like it was it reversed the kind of typical expectation of sexuality. It
was a pretty great show.
That was a good show. She ate bonbons.
In terms of, I mean, I don't know about all this plots and stuff, but I really like story.
No, it was good.
And character, and I think that is like that was a good. I remember it was influential to me.
Yeah, no, it's a great show. Anyway, good luck with you on your journey to pretend that all you miss is blowjobs, and not that you actually are queer. And when you're ready to admit that, call us back, and we'll help you through that.
No, but you're right. It really does suck to want something sexual from your partner and not get it. That is like torture.
Also, it's not like it's not like you want something sexual like diaper play. Okay, right. I get it. You got a fetish. It's very specific. It freaks your partner out. That's cool. I get that.
That's completely different.
That's a challenge. It's like oral sex. That's like A and B. It's not like...
maybe, and also maybe he wants a man because he thinks, all women just must be like that.
I still don't... Yeah, I think he wants to hook up with a guy.
Okay.
And can't quite admit it. That's the fantasy. The fantasy's not, I'm going to find another woman to give me blowjobs. The fantasy is I'm going to find a man who loves sucking dick. And guess what, buddy? You'll be able to find that person. I don't know. You might not be cute, but... odds are you'll be able to find that person. So good luck. Oh, but what about... Here's a question before we move on. We haven't even addressed the elephant in the secret, which is he'll be cheating on his wife. Okay, if you withhold sex completely, you kind of like you're going to get cheated on. But if you only withhold And I'm not positive. I'm not positive how I feel about the ethics. The ethics of somebody withholding sex from you completely and then you stepping out. I'm not sure if that's unethical. I don't know how unethical it is. But if somebody's just withholding oral sex from you, isn't it? It seems like you can't cheat. You got to tell your partner, I think I'm going to go find a guy to do it. You should probably do it either way. What do you think?
I mean, I don't think his wife thinks she's withholding oral sex from him.
A blowjob a year?
Right, but she probably in her head is like, I fuck him all the time, and if I feel like doing it, I'll do it. And then she never feels like it.
Clearly not. She's got to know. You think he doesn't ask? He only asks her once a year? He's probably always like, what about?
So what does their sex look like?
It's probably bad, I'll be honest. It's hard for me to imagine that there's a person out there that's like, I won't go down on you, but that's really open and hot in the sex act. Right? It seems impossible. She's like, I'll never suck that dick, but throw it in my ass. I just don't believe it.
Okay, all right, I hear you. All right, well, let's take another secret.
All right. Wait, you never told me what you think.
About what?
Hey, Tasha. Hey, Moshe.
Hey, turn that secret off. Is it wrong for him to do that? I think it is, huh?
It's always wrong of course it's wrong to cheat on your spouse.
If I withheld sex from you for 5 years.
Oh, sex?
Yeah, all sex, the whole sex. Any kind of sexual contact. And you cheated on me, I'm kind of thinking like that's on me.
But honey, that's not what he said. Like I would never be in a relationship with someone who wouldn't fuck me for 5 years.
You would just break up. That's probably the right answer. Just be honest, break up, find a new partner. But what if you loved me, every other part of me, and we had this child together, and we had this working relationship together, and you loved being with me, but the one thing was I had some weird hiccup about sex, and I just wouldn't give it to you. I'm not talking about me. I'm just talking about...
Right. You're saying, is it okay to cheat? Do I even have to tell you? I mean, I think communication is always
Yeah.
key,
But what if
right?
you knew it would kill me and I wouldn't allow it?
Oh. I mean, it sounds like a slippery slope.
Yeah.
But if you're saying that I can go do whatever I want, that's cool.
You can do whatever... You've always been able to do whatever you want, honey.
Thank you.
Just no comedians.
That's the rule.
All right. Let's hear another secret.
Hey, Tasha. Hey, Moshe. So
Wait, hold on a second.
Gas station.
Pause. What's up with these listeners? These casual listeners. Tasha. 2 Tashas in a row? Have a little decorum.
That's what my mom calls me.
I know. It's very intimate. Have a little decorum. When you call a secrets hotline to talk about how you are about to step out to a truck stop to get your dick sucked by a random trucker or a lizard lot. Or a lot lizard, rather. Don't say Tosh. Say, hello, Ms. Leggero. Hello, Mr. Casher.
All right, go ahead.
All right.
Good rant, honey.
Hey, Tasha. Hey, Moshe. So the gas station I go to every day to buy some cigarettes and White Claw and beer recently installed one of the little machines that dumps your change out and you grab it out of it. And the other day I went in, gave the teller my cash. There was obviously somebody else's change in the little hopper. My change came out. I was not going to pick my change out, so I just took it all. Don't feel bad about it. Don't care. Took it, went and bought something else. That's my secret.
Well, what's funny is he said he went to get his beer and cigarettes every day. I was like, wow.
And White Claw.
Oh, his cigarettes and White Claw?
Beer, cigarettes, and White Claw.
Every day? Sounds like a fun life, I guess.
All right, that secret was chilling.
Is that he stole 75 cents?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not recovered from hearing that.
I hear you, though.
I guess there's evil in the world.
I would rather be guilty of stealing some change than to have to sort out money during COVID and try to explain how much money someone's owed. If it's like 35 cents.
There you go. It's COVID. You were avoiding COVID. You did the right thing, brother.
Okay, good.
One more secret.
Hi, I'm a longtime fan of the show and of both of you. You guys are great. This is my secret. So I feel like there's some kind of like joke in the culture that you're supposed to masturbate thinking about watching porn or thinking about some guy you saw, on the elevator or someone from your past or something like that. And that if you think about your partner, that's somehow stupid or weird. And I really only think about my husband, and I have been with him for a very long time, like since I was very young and way over a decade. And I just think about him every time. I don't know if it's like almost like a monogamy fetish or something. Like that's the appeal, is that he's the one person and there's like a ownership there or something like that. Anyway, have a good day. Bye.
See, this is why you sleep with lots of people before you get married. So you have memories to think about while you're masturbating. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody's different. She found her soulmate, and she just wants to think about him.
And she doesn't. Well, of course she wants to think about him. She doesn't have anything else to think about. Nobody masturbates thinking about porn.
No, but she could watch porn.
She could watch porn. That's what That's what Natasha recommends. Stop thinking about your husband.
Oh yeah, just to see what it feels like. Just watch one porno
and see what that feels like. She's gonna hate it. I can tell already. Like, well, I would love it if my husband was in it and the actress was me. Here's the scenario. It's not a plumber coming over. It's my husband coming over, and it's to my house, and we live there together, and we have 2 cats in the yard, and we make love, and we stare into each other's eyes, and I say I love, and he says you, and we share a breath.
Why do you make fun of them? They found each other.
It's beautiful, but it's for me to make fun of.
All right. Well, listen.
What do you think about when you masturbate? You don't have to tell me. Should we do another call?
Yeah, we have someone waiting.
Oh, okay. Let's do another call.
Do you like how I pretend that I'm producing these calls? I'm always like, we've got someone on the East Coast they're holding.
Hey, Tosh. Hey, Moshe. That last caller, that was how you do it. Hey, don't even say, big fan of the show. Don't say our names. Have some respect.
Oh, it's like too intimate because they're telling you their secret.
No, I'm just kidding. You say whatever you want. Who cares? Who's anybody? Nobody deserves respect. Oh, yeah. We're going to call Oni in Taiwan. This is awesome.
Hello.
Oni, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, Moshe?
Good. Oni.
Hi, Oni.
Hi, Natasha. Hello. This is awesome.
Well, it's awesome for us, too, because you're calling from Taiwan. You're our first caller ever to call from Taiwan. What are you doing there?
Yay. Well, I'm here teaching English.
Amazing. You like it? Do you love it? What's happening?
I do like it. It gives you an opportunity, to try something new.
Now, Oni, maybe you can answer a question for me. I was in a heated debate with a friend of mine, and he said, I don't like Chinese food. I like Taiwanese food. And I said, no, dude. Taiwanese food is a kind of Chinese food. And then I went on to the Reddit, the r/Taiwan, and I asked them, and they pretty much all said that I was wrong. And then I asked some of my Taiwanese friends, and they kind of said I was wrong. At this point, I'm starting to feel like I'm wrong. But then I'm like, is it just political, the difference between Taiwanese food and Chinese food? Or you've had Chinese food? You're from the States, right?
Yes, I'm from the States, yeah.
You've had Chinese food in the States. Now you're in Taiwan eating the real deal Taiwanese. Is it different?
So I actually can tell you I've also lived in China.
Ah, beautiful.
So mainland China. So I can tell you I won't get a lot of likes probably, but mainland China Chinese food is way better.
Oh, better.
I'm sorry.
You had to say better.
It's way better. And look, I don't want to get like, Taiwanese has a lot of great food. Like they're really good with vegetarian or vegan options, like really good, but when it comes to flavor and everything, mainland Chinese food is awesome. Ooh. I loved it. That's what I miss, actually.
You don't miss American food?
Sorry.
You don't miss American food? You miss Chinese food?
But you know what? I miss American Chinese food too.
Oh yeah.
But particularly American Chinese food because it's a little bit more palatable. Like you know what you're getting. You can read it. It's easy to read.
The only Chinese food I like in America really is Szechuan.
Yeah, we got the San Gabriel Valley out here where San Gabriel Valley is interesting, maybe not interesting to our listeners, but it's this place. Where are you from?
I'm from New York City.
Okay, so in the San Gabriel Valley, it's all of the Chinese immigrants from all over China all moved to like 1-2 little cities. So it's actually, they say there's actually more cuisine diversity in the San Gabriel Valley than is easy to find in China, because it's everybody from every region in China living in these little towns. So you can go like get the best Szechuan food, the best Taiwanese food, the best Hunan. You can kind of go and choose your own adventure cuisine wise. You wouldn't know about that. You wouldn't know about that because you're from New York, where there's very few kinds of food, and it's kind of all one kind of restaurant in New York City. But anyway, it's just a little.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we got a little Chinatown.
No,
we got
I'm
Chinatown.
joking.
Okay, so Oni, what's going on?
So what's going on? All right. So basically, I'm in a long distance marriage. And my husband is actually living in Shanghai, China.
Oh, you don't miss that mainland Chinese food. You miss that mainland Chinese dick.
Absolutely. Yes. I will say that. I do. I do. But he's not Chinese. So he's actually from Europe. And he's there not teaching English, but actually teaching basketball because, China's into basketball as well. So that's why he's there. And I was there with him. That's where we met. And but Corona happened. So we got separated when we got back home. So we thought, oh, yeah, we'll just let China figure this out and we'll go back home. And unfortunately, you know what happened. So what happened was actually he was able to go back. I wasn't. Due to permit issues that I had and borders being very strict going back to China. So my second option was to come here to Taiwan. And for any Taiwanese listening, look, I get it. You guys are like the Canada to like America. It's like China is like the America now, and Taiwanese is like Canada. We're like, they're like, yeah, we're good. We're easy going.
Wait, so
and China's like, yeah.
Could your husband have gone with you to Taiwan?
Well, that's the issue now. So we were planning on getting him here. Unfortunately, Taiwan is going through its first lockdown with coronavirus.
Right now, you're going through the first lockdown?
Yeah. They were able to keep it away for almost a year, and it was looking positive.
These fucking islands, man. They're just so, they have such an advantage at keeping stuff out. All these islands, like
but
Australia.
They didn't keep it out.
I know, but it's 2 years later. It's like Australia, New Zealand, Taiwan, like Japan. They all kind of nailed it. I mean, so to be honest, if you're going on lockdown a year in, that is probably that's good or something.
Why?
Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if it comes, it comes. I don't know.
Okay, so you're on lockdown. He's in China.
Yeah.
He's just dunking in China right now, right? He's just
he's
having lots of fun
he's
doing
it.
I just think that you guys should, if you can't figure out a way to be together during all of this, I feel like that's you got to figure that out.
Well, they have international
exactly.
borders to
I
deal
know.
with.
Well, he should come to her.
But we haven't heard what the issue is yet.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you're right, Natasha. He was about to, and we still are. The process, we still don't know if Taiwan will not let him in or not. We're still going through the process. It's just that just before the lockdown, we were just certain he can come, And so now it's like they had to let a few people not come in that had permits, like they should be here, but they're not because they had to lock down. So we're a little bit worried that, if this thing continues like it has been eating through the rest of the world, as it did before, it's now like what do we do if this is going to be another 3 months of like denial for him to come? So like we're waiting, and we'll wait for as long as we have to. But the problem is really like, what do we do in the meantime while we're waiting to get back to each other, whether that's in 3 months or, God forbid, a year from now?
What do you mean by what? Do you have something, Tosh?
No, I mean, I think this is, this is like a once in 100 years thing.
Tell me about
we're
it.
going
It
through.
is.
So I think you have to be kind of easy on yourself, and maybe it will be a long distance marriage for a year. But yes, you do have to find a way. But at least as long as there's strong plans to reunite when you can and as soon as it's safe. And you really have to trust each other too, because I don't know. I feel like if things are opening up, you want to be the priority for each other, right? Isn't that the first thing you kind of want to open up to when, I don't know.
Yeah, I guess
Absolutely.
I'm curious what you mean by what do we do in terms of what? Well, I mean, you wait, I guess.
No, but they need to have, you mean like a dating life, or make sure he's not meeting someone else, or I don't know. What do you mean?
Yeah, so keeping the intimacy going, because this isn't our first time separated. We've been actually separated since October.
Got it.
Of 2020, and we were great with communication, but it's actually, I mean, I won't say it's dwindling, but we're coming to a head where every time we're talking, it's like, okay, what's going on with the borders? What's going on with this? What's going on? How can we get?
Yeah.
And that's like taken over our like minds, and we can't like move on.
I think maybe you, because you maybe you're calling a podcast, so you're obviously, you feel more even, you feel pretty strongly about it. I think that you need to kind of spearhead a romantic date, and virtual or whatever it is, or you guys like talk on the phone and you order your favorite food, and then maybe you watch a movie together and then call each other after. I mean, I've done that just with friends, and then I don't know if you have phone sex, or do whatever you think, masturbate and think about each other, and you just have to like have it. Maybe try one, see how it goes.
You're lucky neither of you are in Japan, because if you masturbated over the internet in Japan, the genitals will be blurred out. So that's something to think about.
Well, isn't this how like kids date? Like, don't they just like watch TV together on their phones? Like, that is also a way to be together.
No, it's nice and it's fun, and it is possible to have a version of intimacy that I've had with my friends. I've never had romantic intimacy on Zoom, but like friends that I wasn't able to see, we still would hang out, and it felt almost like the real thing. But what I was thinking about was, these are not really action items as much as like psychological things to remember. Is like Natasha said something early on the pandemic, which is I've thought about since. Like, what's wild about COVID is it's a traumatic experience that everyone on Earth is having together. And that's a crazy, unique kind of thing. We've never really had something like that where everybody's suffering in very different ways, but all because of the same thing. And it's like, there's a part of being locked down together that is really nice, but there's also a part of being locked down together with your partner that creates strains and creates pressure.
Yeah, you guys got lucky.
In a way, we're all suffering of the same thing in a different way.
Wait, I could have just been away from you this whole time?
You could have been in Taiwan, dude. And I could have been
in Taiwan.
At a spa.
And I could have been.
Do they have Jim Bangs? No, that's
Korea.
What kind of spas do they have in Taiwan?
Are there good spas in Taiwan?
They have hot springs. I've yet to try them, but.
So yeah, to keep that in mind, that like, yes, the ideal version of this thing would be that you're both together, but of course it's a disease, and no one on earth is living the ideal version of life right now. Nobody, literally nobody. Some anti-maskers are pretending, but they're, you know what I'm saying? So keeping that in mind, something like that. And the other, here is a more practical question: could you guys go on vacation together somewhere, a third place?
It's not really economical, because most places want you to quarantine for like 2 weeks, and that's a big chunk of money. Yeah, not to be able to go anywhere.
So you have to pay for yourself to be in a hotel for 2 weeks?
Most places, yeah, most places.
Yeah, and then if you go to the places that don't care, Taiwan and China will be like, you don't get to come back.
You don't exactly. It's complicated.
Right. Now that's complicated. So maybe that's the solution. I mean, honestly, 2 weeks of quarantine with your husband doesn't sound too terrible, but
Well, we have to quarantine separate. Like once you land, since we're
I
coming
see.
from different places,
I
we
got you.
have to quarantine separately. So Singapore is one of the places we thought about, Macau, but
If
it's
they
like
came to America, would they have
it's
to
a lot.
quarantine right now?
I don't think so.
Come to
No.
America.
No, exactly. And here's the thing: his country is not part of the EU, so he can't come to America without going through a visa process, and it's something we are. At least last night I started going online, checking out what's needed. I'm like, God damn, America, you guys don't make anything easy. Like with the whole process.
We're not the bureaucratic, breezy place that mainland China is. You're right, but
Right now they're like the same. It's crazy.
I think that's the answer. There isn't an answer. That's the primary. My gut says there isn't an answer other than just keeping this in perspective. Like that, you guys got married. Marriage is forever if it works. And this is a blip. This is a weird blip in your life.
But you have to establish some fun.
Yes, yeah.
Something away from the stress. Your whole life cannot be about the stress of borders and when you're going to see each other and what the latest variant is, overtaken the country. Like you have to have space for something else.
I think
together.
It's right. Like Natasha's right, and what you were saying, you always talk about it. Like you guys should establish not only like dates, and I know it feels like paltry because it's like internet, blah, 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 but establish dates where not only are you having a little date on the phone, but there are rules that you can't mention: visas, COVID. You can't talk about that shit. It has to be like anything else is on the table. He could show you his dunks or whatever. I mean, I think that would be really smart. Like, okay, we're going to watch, like, maybe you both go, I mean, you weren't really asking for date suggestions, but like maybe you both go get a kind of cuisine that isn't the cuisine of where you live. Like you both go get Italian food from somewhere and then come back and eat it together on that little cute shit that seems really corny, but it's like, what do you have?
But here's the thing. If Moshe and I were far away, I would have to think of every one of those things.
Okay, well, there's no need to
So I'm
roast
just
me.
saying, sometimes you have to like kind of initiate it. Don't always expect them to do it.
Well, I mean, the thing is like we accept that this is how it is. I guess where I'm trying, because I think I'm the person that's kind of like, well, where are we going? Like, I'm the one that needs to like chill out. Because I accept the situation, we both accepted it, and one thing I was thinking was like maybe, do you suggest maybe like a video game that we can play? That's a good couples.
I love
video
that
game.
idea.
I wish I knew.
Well, do you like video games a lot?
Well, okay. When we were first separated, we were playing Fortnite a lot.
I got a suggestion.
I
got a great suggestion. It's an improvement upon Fortnite. Okay, our producer's actually suggesting you guys could. I like this idea a lot. I got some. Natasha, you might want to take a Xanax and sit this one out because I do have some suggestions here. First of all, I had a thought though. When you said you're the one that's going, where are we going with all this? Where are we going? Where are we going? My thought was, you guys are married. You're there. The one thing about getting married is that you get to stop going. I mean, not altogether, but it just feels like the one weight off my shoulder was asking my partner, where are we going? I was like, we're here. Wherever we're going together. And where I'm suggesting you go is to the land of Apex Legends. Now, Apex Legends is like Fortnite, but it's, I think, a lot more fun. There's a lot more like,
wait, you play this?
This is the game that I play with my friends, but that's what I was going to say. The people who I've connected with over this year are people that I played Apex Legends with a dorky little headset on, because it's like I'm playing this game.
She's trying to fuck this guy.
She brought up video games. She lives in Taiwan. She's probably like a big gamer. She probably goes to like a internet cafe and plays World of Warcraft. But
I know, but I'm trying. I want to try something different,
If you like Fortnite, you will like Apex Legends. It's basically the same game, but more fun. There's no building. There's more interesting characters. There's women of color characters. I don't know if you care about that, but that's a little different than Fortnite was like all these like generic like blonde guy. Yeah,
just one
blonde
there
man.
was just one.
Like it's more to me. It's a much more engaging game. There's more fun to be had, and hanging out with somebody playing a game to me has been a lot. Really, through the pandemic, has been, other than surfing, was like my escape, was like being able to be on Apex Legends. But our producer has a great suggestion also, which is you guys could get an Oculus. Get an Oculus Rift, and then you can kind of hang out in VR together, which is even more.
Oh
you
my
should have
God!
A date. That would be fun.
A date in VR on the Oculus would be awesome. You find the 2-player games.
That is actually a great idea.
Together.
That
you
is.
could work out together. You could do all this different stuff together, and it's a lot of fun.
Can you could they order their dinner and then like
that? I don't know.
No,
it'd be hard to eat.
It'd be like all over your face.
But you could play tennis together. You guys could go visit.
I mean, that Oculus was impressive.
It's amazing. Both of you should get an Oculus Rift. Yeah.
Is it?
Hopefully we should.
Okay. Well, we were trying to decide because I'm an Xbox person. Not that I was. I'm past that age, but I'm feeling like I have to go back now, like a step, because like I'm 36, so I'm at that age where I was ready to start with him a family.
You were ready to upgrade to a PlayStation 5. I get it. You're at that age. No.
I was like, you know what, Xbox. We'll try to.
Well, I guess thank the pandemic that you get a few more years of gaming before you've got to breed.
Yes, and before I have the responsibility.
I would say
absolutely.
Oculus would be an awesome way for you guys to hang out. I think that would be really cool. And if you're looking for a game already, that's a cool way to do something unique together. And playing a game like Apex, where it's cooperative, is really fun as well. I mean,
so one Oculus date, one other kind of date where you watch a movie, and
just be easy, like Natasha said, be easy on yourself and understand that we're all in a trauma together. I mean, like, it gets worse. Like, I always think about World War II when I think about COVID. Like, when I think about how difficult it was for us, I'm like, but what about the people who, one of them was in a fucking concentration camp and the other was hiding in an attic? Like, people lived through that and lived to tell the tale. A lot of people didn't, but people did. So it's like, people have been through worse. And this to me is like, I mean, I don't know your life, but it's a blip. It's one moment that you'll remember together, and then you'll be able to have the rest of your lives.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. You guys do. Good. I like this. I'm glad I called.
I'm glad you called too. We'll see you in Singapore.
Okay. Taiwan, honey.
No, that's where we're all going to vacation together.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Singapore is supposed to be really open.
We're all going to meet in Singapore. That's
Great.
right. Okay, good luck.
We'll do it. Do it
Okay.
up.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
All these lives. It's all these like people living lives in these different ways. It's like, it always trips me out. Like,
also, America's so big, we kind of take it for granted because we all kind of just travel around America in terms of like family and,
people being separated by borders. And I was thinking, I wanted to ask her, but I didn't know if it would be boring. Is like, because he's European, he probably has to be, there's probably only so many places that guy can earn a living teaching basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He probably makes a good living in China teaching basketball because he's probably really good, Europe good. And like, it's not like he can just move to America and become a successful basketball coach because there's 10 million basketball coaches here. So they have their dynamic or whatever. Anyway, we have our dynamic as well.
We do.
Which is that we want people to call our secrets hotline, which is 213-222-8608.
You can also send us an email at endlesshoneymoonpod@gmail.com.
Of course, we're on Instagram. You can find the podcast at apple.co/endlesshoneymoon, or we're on YouTube as well.
Yeah, subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Why not?
As our friend's kid says, subscribe.
Yeah, he's teaching our
We're friends with a kid whose 7-year-old walks around and says, subscribe.
Well, Tosh.
To our YouTube channel.
I'll tell you what. You've subscribed to my heart, and I will never let you subscribe because I love you. I love you.
I love you too.